Hello, I'm Peter Franklin, and today I'd like to share with you the recipe for making your communications truly compelling. You might be having to convince senior management to authorize your initiatives and give you the budget to make them happen. Or you might be communicating with a sales prospect, trying to convince them to sign up to your product or service. Or you might be communicating with your organization on the need to do something to enable a business transformation program. Whatever your need, you need the power to influence. If you already have the recipe, then you're in good shape. You'll be used to the experience of your audience agreeing with you because your logic is truly compelling. If, however, you find that you don't get your audience to agree with you as often as you would like, take a look at the rest of this short video. It will give you the recipe in the form of the question areas you need to address and the best way to address them. The video is essentially a one-day training course condensed down to under 9 minutes. If you've been on a Pyramid Thinking Plus training course, then you will recognize it as a useful refresher. If you have not, then it is a run-through of the topic areas you would address should you attend one.
Here are the 3 question areas you need to address. Who is your audience? What is their challenge? And what is your solution logic, which needs to be a compelling solution logic? So who is your audience? What do you know about them? What are their concerns? What is the purpose of your communication? What do you want to get your audience to think or do? If you don't want to impact their thinking or their actions, why on earth are you thinking of communicating with them? We always want to impact what our audience thinks or does, so we need to think carefully about what the purpose of the communication is and make sure our message enables that purpose to be fulfilled. Now let's think through the challenge your audience is facing. In your introduction, you're going to sketch out the context for your communication. These will all be things your audience already knows and agrees with. You want to start off by getting your audience on side and in yes mode. You then go on to the complication or problem they are trying to resolve, or it could well be an opportunity they are trying to grasp, such as entering a new market or developing a new product or service. This then leads on to the question that you want your audience to have top of mind, the question they will now be clamoring for you to address in your communication. Now we come to the core of your communication, your solution, and the logic that makes it compelling. This is where you need to invest the majority of your thinking effort. You need to get the content right and the structure right. The content questions check that your message is clear and focused and that your explanation of why it is true is compelling. The structure questions make sure that your communication is in a form that your audience's brain can easily handle, that it is structured in a way which will not overload working memory. So starting off with the content questions. You start off by thinking through the answer to the audience's question. This is your governing thought, the one thing you want them to remember when you've left the room or they're finished looking at your document. Then comes the key line. These are the 3 to 5 reasons why the governing thought is true. If your purpose is to get people to do something, then these reasons will all be the benefits to your audience, which will inspire them and convince them to do what you want. Then comes the support logic, the evidence why each of the key line items is true. This will often be things that you can do to enable the delivery of the benefits to your audience. Then we have the structure questions. Have you got a hierarchical structure, like an organization chart for your logic? At the top of an organization chart you have one person, the CEO. For a logic structure you have one idea. This is the one and only one thing you want to communicate, your governing thought. You then need to check that everything you have in your key line and in your support logic is at the same level of abstraction or summary. The test here is to check that everything at a given level can be described by the same collective noun. For example, a benefit or a reason. You then have the MISI test, which stands for mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. Mutually exclusive means you have no duplicates in your line of logic. Collectively exhaustive means you have not left something important out. And last but not least, you have the order question. Have you got the order of things right in your key line and in your support logic? If you always run through a process to address these question areas, then you are no doubt familiar with Pyramid Thinking Plus, or top-down thinking as it's sometimes called. In this case, hopefully this video has been a useful refresher. If you don't run through a process to address these question areas, then your communications may well have the potential for significant improvement. So, in that case, how can you make sure you address these question areas well, so that you can make your communications truly compelling? You can make your communications truly compelling by using the Pyramid Thinking Plus approach. Why? Because it increases your success rate. If you follow the rules of the approach, you make it easy for your audience to buy into your proposition. This is because they can easily assimilate your logic because you do not overload their short-term memory, and because they find your argument compelling because you focus on the benefits to them, which is what drives them to action. It has been proven to work time and time again, over decades, in organizations large and small. It has been built on the solid foundation of the pyramid principle, Barbara Minto's book, first published in the late 1980s. Barbara was the first lady partner at McKinsey's and documented her findings on what is needed to structure documents that communicate effectively. It is no coincidence that many of the major management consultancies now adopt it as part of their business as usual. Pyramid Thinking Plus takes the original foundation and combines it with lessons learned from business development best practice and behavioral science. It is easy to learn. It is not a rocket science. It takes learning a few simple rules to make sure you craft your argument in a way that it is easy for the human brain to process. You can learn the approach in a day, but becoming truly proficient requires practice. But remember that practice itself brings rewards, since your success rate at convincing others will rise as you practice.
Now that you've come to the end of this video, is it clear to you what my governing thought was? If yes, then you'll have experienced the power of Pyramid Thinking Plus in practice. If no, then perhaps I need to conclude that I should go on a Pyramid Thinking Plus training course myself. Anyway, here it is again. If you want to find out more about Pyramid Thinking Plus, just do a Google search on Pyramid Thinking Plus. You can also find out more information on our website, compellingpropositions.com. I very much hope you enjoy making your communications truly compelling by using the Pyramid Thinking Plus approach, giving you even more power to influence.